Could you tell me?
There you go.
Okay.
We're recording.
Got it. Okay. Ed Grossman is just by sound. He hasn't put his, he's not here, but he is in sound. Let's,
Video gone.
excuse me, hon?
It doesn't look like Ed Grossman's video is on. He is signed in, however.
Okay,
Ed?
yeah.
Ed, can you hear us? Not responding.
Hello? There he is. There he answered you. He said, hello, did he hear you?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, that is Ed. Hi, Ed. How are you? It's
Not
Tony.
bad for an old man, terrible for a youngster, I could tell you that.
I know that feeling. Thank you.
No,
Anyhow,
excuse me, dear?
I was gonna say, it looks like it's about time. You know, if anybody else wants to, Roosevelt Field,
That's Long Island.
huh?
That's Long Island. It might be Susan.
Yeah, that might be Susan. Thank you. She knows how to check herself into.
While we're waiting, there's excellent minutes from John Hess from last time.
Yeah, let's,
There were two items on the minutes. One was the old roof. And the other was the notification of claims. Maybe you want to address that, make sure that we got that in the minutes.
It is.
Yes,
Oh,
you
okay.
did an excellent job. I just want to bring it up because those were two items that we addressed this month from what we talked about last month.
Okay.
I don't have a copy of last month's,
Yeah, there's right after the agenda, the second page is the minutes.
no, not on the list I got. I know it says attendance, but I don't have it.
Not the attachment.
It doesn't have the minutes either. I have all the attachments.
They were sent separate.
Yeah, there were two separate attachments. One was the agenda. And the
I
other
saw
was
that.
Hey,
I don't have it.
all right.
I guess I did a better job of sending the stuff out than I did of saving some for myself. Yeah. Okay, then let's go over those things that were so good on the agenda last month. If we could, Mike, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Yodel boy.
there were two items for your information. One was the age of the roof, which seems to be a determining factor in insurance premiums this year. And that's addressed
Okay.
in this month. And the other is that some of the associations seem to be directing claims directly to the insurance company rather than going through Tony's office. So we've tried to address that. And we have a claim form and a database of what we have for potential claims and claims that have been filed or turned or not filed.
Okay.
That's
We can get onto that
This
stuff.
is a review of the minutes, and you should have that.
I don't have that either. But that's okay.
Right, and the third page,
I've read the minutes before we came anyhow.
okay, and the third
Okay.
page, the third part of that, after the agenda, is a list of the members and the email addresses. And we just need
I
to-
always put that.
I know, we just need to check to make sure that those are current and correct. We probably had.
No, let's not do that every month. Cause it's you know, I'm assuming everybody who attends, who's a member of this committee has enough sense to say, oh gee whiz, I've changed my email address. If you
Well-
haven't, you're gonna be lost out there in a wasteland, because nobody's gonna be, you're gonna get it, but you may not get it.
Okay, so let's go to the agenda.
Good
First is
enough.
Attendance, we've done minutes, and we've done committee members. So now, Tony, you want to talk about the update of the renewal process for 2024?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, folks, this is gonna sound really awful and we're gonna hate every minute of it. But we need as much help as we possibly can. So if you have any ideas, how we can take care of these problems, then please be kind enough to, bring us your thoughts. First thing is the renewal process. Now, the renewal process, we have it every year, okay? It's the same old thing. The first week in December is the day that the agent usually gets the figures from the insurance company, and it gives them and puts them into a,
Option sheet.
an option sheet, but he also gives it to us in a form that we can understand, okay? We have a number of things. First thing, we have to get a date for when we're going to do that, okay? It's usually, like I said, the first week in December, and that would be, I hate to click this thing, but it'll be sometime. Okay, that's the first thing we have to think about. That's the day we're going for. Then we have to think about all the information that has to go to Assured Partners. Now, the question is, we're talking Assured Partners. Why are we thinking Assured Partners for today, for this year? Any thoughts? I know the premiums, because here's what I'm going to tell you. The information I've gotten from every other source that I've talked to means the premiums are going to be going up. We not only have Assured Partners explanation as to what's going to happen, or their thought as to what's going to happen in 2024, but I cannot see us getting a new agent in for 2024 so that they can look stupid or that they can do poorly. And so I'm thinking that we should contemplate using Assured Partners again, because if anybody's going to be able to get us through this, it's going to be Assured Partners right now, because they know the account better than any of us. Any thoughts? I got thoughts.
Richard,
The minutes say that a discussion, a general consensus that interviews would be able to get a feel. And then it says brokers for consideration were Assured Partners, Centria, and Brown & Brown. Does this mean we will not listen to the presentations by Centra, Brown & Brown, or anyone except Assured Partners?
No, we'll be glad to listen to any of them. But quite honestly, the way the market is going, the only one I feel comfortable with this year is Assured Partners. We already had one or two. We've already heard one or two of them from the other associations, and they were very poor. Okay, so they didn't have a lot to say. And I figured if they put as little effort in trying to get another account, what are they going to try getting us?
Tony,
Yes?
I happen to agree with you. Since I've been here, we've gone through several agents. And basically, whatever their story is, they all have the same limitation. And Assured Partners put a lot of time and effort into getting information which we never got before. However, it's disturbing that we hit with all this information. You can't predict, I can't predict, and they can't predict what the increases are going to be.
You don't understand. I'm really a good guy. I'm not really a good guy, but in this case, the economy around here, the last thing we needed here in Florida was another hurricane in 2023. What did we just get? We got a hurricane. Now, I can't say how big it was. We were lucky it just ran across the north. Take care, honey. They ran across the northwest to the northeast. Of course, probably the best area it could have gone through. but we had another hurricane. The last thing we need. You know, I don't know how to figure out this economy. And I have to be honest with the choices that you give me. I have to say that to me, Assured Partners is better off on the going one more year with Assured Partners, simply because they know the account, they understand the market, and they've already told us exactly what's going to happen. Okay, now I'm going to be honest with you. Mike has been killing himself to get these people to get new roofs, and you don't understand how important this is going to be for them to save some money. And they can save a considerable amount of money by getting new roofs. But there's only so many associations that you can ask to spend $45,000 to $55,000 to $65,000 on a roof. Okay, we actually have a claim on a roof that isn't a hurricane responsible. It's just old. That's why we have a
1972.
lot of old buildings here.
1972 was the roof date for Plymouth 4.
Okay, thank you.
They have no permits and no replacements since that time.
So it's kind of hard to say, guys, okay, this is good or this is bad. Basically, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we had a lot of bumps in the road last year. People had said they didn't get copies of their option sheets. They didn't have option sheets in enough time. Nobody told them about these option sheets, and they're picked upon, and nobody loves them. Okay. What I really want to do is I want to take advantage of the UCO reporter, and I want to
Delegate Assembly.
they'll have some help from Donald and his thing, telling them here, this is this and this is that. Hey, Susan, how are you, honey? Nice of you. Nice. I'm glad you could join us.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I thought I was better on the computer. I was hearing all of you and I'm not seeing, why is my picture not there? I had to
No,
switch.
you were there. You were there. We figured out who Roosevelt Field was.
Oh, so that's me. Yeah, I was there. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk, so I'll chime in just a second.
Okay, good for it.
Mhm.
Anyhow, that's what I'm really looking to do. What I'm looking to do is give more satisfaction that we have more useful contact with the option sheets, that the people have an idea of what their option sheet offers them and what options they should choose in time to get it done on time, in order to meet the time guidelines for the option sheets. That's what I'm talking. Yes.
2 points about Assured Partners. One, they were renewed by WPRF, and there were comments about how efficient the Assured Partners staff was, which is something I sort of agree with. 2, Assured Partners gave us electronic copies of every option sheet. These associations didn't even bother to call the UCO office to find out what their option sheets or their insurance was. So that's like you said, something for the UCO reporter and for the Delegates Assembly.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get the information out. That's the important thing. I need to know probably for the November issue of the UCO reporter to give them heads up, and to make sure that, and also we need to think about possibly using the UCO insurance email. Let's say Mary knows that she's going to be on vacation during that week. Okay, so give her an opportunity to, we email her, her calling us and saying, I'm going to be away, and have us offer her an email copy of her option sheet. So this way she can get it done. That was the biggest complaint from people. I never got it. I never saw it. Well, I didn't know what I had done. I mean, we did the UCO reporter. I mean, Anybody else got an idea how each individual association can get hold on. I
Hands
see a
up.
waving hand.
Okay.
TV.
One, Assured Partners has a better email distribution system than we do, which is only me sitting in your office. We suggest that associations give an email address, or we have this database for UCO that somehow Assured Partners could send the option sheets out to the board members that we have on file.
Okay, it's not a bad idea, but we gotta make sure that they agree with that. You know, we can't sell them to do something. that-
Absolutely not. We're not gonna release that information.
I think it's incumbent upon each association to find out about the option sheet. They know insurance is due every damn year.
Let me tell
There's
you,
no-
you don't
there's no
wanna,
excuse to say they didn't know, nobody told me. It's up
do
to
you
them to
wanna,
go
do you
find
wanna
out.
listen to some of my stories from Kingswood A?
Not particularly.
No.
Ugly, ugly, ugly. It
Well,
was
the thing
all
is,
my fault.
wait a minute. The thing is that the boards often change. Somebody dies, somebody new takes over, and the new folks, they may be efficient, but they haven't been updated. So the UCO reporter and the delegates assembly is probably the best way to disseminate the information.
And the TV station.
They also have a TV station.
That's a good idea, yes. Very good idea.
What about-
Yeah. We
about
really
it?
have to, that's all I'm saying is that that one of the things I like to do is every year I like to update my game. You know what I mean? Get it better so that I have fewer people moaning and groaning. Oh, I didn't want this option sheet. I didn't want this option, but it was too late to make a change, and I never got the original one, and blah 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 blah. It was awful. It was mind blowing. I mean, it was like, what could I do? So that's one of the things that I would like to do. Anybody else get some thoughts for easy distribution of option
Richard.
sheets?
Two
Yeah, it's
things.
quicker. And
Yes.
remember, whatever we have.
Whoa, Richard has a comment.
What's that?
Want to use the TV stations through Joanne's excellent guidance. She can, I hope I'm not volunteering.
No, absolutely. That's why I'm doing it.
Secondly, our corresponding secretary might have more up-to-date information because it needs to be submitted for delegates and boards. We could use our corresponding secretary also as a source for the latest.
Yeah,
details.
Can the corresponding secretary send out a message to all the delegates? Without interfering with this UCO database? Costa?
No, the corresponding secretary is sitting right here.
Yeah,
So everything would have to be loaded into the system. There's no way that I can send out all those sheets to everybody. It's not permissible to send out phone numbers.
Could you send out a message that say the option sheets will be delivered on December 5th and you need to,
Whatever day.
So whatever goes out on the blog, on the Donald's report, whatever you're looking to send, that's the way to send it out.
okay,
Yeah.
That's the only way,
Everybody that's on there
right, has agreed to it.
has agreed to it, plus the fact that there's always I would say that it has to be at least 95% of the boards have one of their board members that get that block.
Yeah.
But I mean, could it be done? Yeah, I would have to enter the emails of all 309 associations, just send it out. Could it be done? Yes.
Madam
No, I'm
Chair,
not thinking something that horrendous. Okay, how about if we use now, in addition to the UCO reporter, we use the televisions as saying, you know, a run through, like once an hour. Don't forget, boys and girls, the option sheets are being distributed on December the 7th. In the UCO, in the thing. If you are not available to get it, please email us. You know what I'm saying? It's not. We somehow or other we got to get him done. We can't ask.
Whenever.
okay, let's move on.
excuse me,
I didn't answer my question. Go ahead.
Tell me.
Yes. Yes, Ed. What do you want? What can I help? you with?
we're talking about pieces of paper but I think you skipped over something that's very important, and that
Yes.
is roofs. I keep hearing roofs and slip and falls. Now, they examined everything except the roofs last year, if I'm not mistaken, Assured Partners. I know that in
2021,
my
they did it.
association, each year in the past, I had it, what I call an MRI. For a few $100, you get a scan of your roof. It shows you what's good, what's bad, and what's indifferent. Many times, adjustments are made to rate just because they looked at the last time that a roof was replaced. Now, there are roofs that have lasted 20 years and are in the same shape as they were when they're new. And there are roofs that were a year old and had to be redone. I think it's imperative that scans be done to the roofs of those associations who are getting high increases strictly based on age. And
no,
you
no, no, no.
mentioned age, I think we're a community of over 10 years old. So each person here has a different metabolism and makeup regardless of your age. And I think that's a bad omission because we did get adjustments. Some got 30%, some got 80%, some got 100%. And if it was based on an age of a roof that in actual fact was in terrific shape, that's not a good idea. Everything is a scan today, including us. And I think since this and slip and falls seems to be the biggest part of what we're getting charged for insurance, and everybody's looking at the roof, those roofs should be scanned because you could have a new roof that's in terrible shape. We had that at Wellington, at the Wellington Group 2 or 3 years ago, that a new roof was put on and it was terrible and it had to be replaced. So yes, you could have option 1, 2, and 3, but the basis has to be tightened up, I think. That's my personal opinion. It's a couple of $100. Maybe it's more now.
No,
But
a good, I think what you're talking about is somebody, and I think Mike has been talking to, one, there, I know there's one agent, one roofer who actually will go and do a roof, mediation, for lack of better word. Okay, he sends his guys up there. Mike, am I talking about the right person?
Yes,
Yeah.
we actually, in my building, we had this fellow come out and we did a roof inspection report. He's a licensed roofer. And actually, it didn't cost us anything because if he does find something, he reports it to the association and they possibly get a new roof or they remove the toenails.
Or they remove
Some roofers charge $100 or $150 to do a roof inspection, but they send somebody up onto the roof. They walk around, they look at the crickets, they look at the perforations where the pipes come through the roof.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it really, you know, it really bodes to the individual association to make the inspection, to make the, wait a minute, let me finish. To make the inspection, I think if they've got an old roof, if you got an old roof, and what am I going to say an old roof is? Let me say, let's see, it's 2004. Okay, that's a pretty old roof here. That's how many years old? Do the math.
10.
Okay, so we go out
2004.
and we realize that our
It's 23.
19.
It's 19-year-old roof.
Okay.
It's close.
That's fine.
Give me a
So,
break.
okay, so now,
Tony, the mitigation reports that are filed usually have pictures of the roof surfaces. And if you look at the old ones, you can see the ones that have been patched, repaired, or damaged. You
all
can
I'm
see that
saying
on the
to you
mitigation
is
report.
nothing takes
You go
the
back on
place
that
of
topic that
somebody
we were discussing.
going Can nobody not hear me? Somebody's gotta go up there and take, if you think, all right, if you think you're going to be,
Richard, you're gonna go up on the roof?
Jesus Christ. I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
that's-
can I? All right,
Okay.
okay, when you're all through with your side comments, let me know, okay?
Richard,
Can I add-
Richard has
add
a
something,
comment.
Tony?
Just one, when we
This is
send
like
out the
a clown.
ladies first, keep going.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, you know you have an old roof and you think you're gonna get away with it because for some reason, the way to get away with it is to get somebody to
Inspection.
look at it, okay? And if he considers it's got 2, 3, 4, 5 years, at least you're standing on something other than, oh, well, oh, it's 2004. Bottom line is you have to have somebody in the know with credentials who say it's not quite as bad as it looks. Okay? Or we have some honest guys who honestly say it is as bad as it looks and it has to be fixed. The rest of my case.
Yeah. can I say
Suzanne,
something?
please.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Regarding the roofs, in my little experience with insurance, they're gonna look at the age of the roof. They don't really care about sending in inspection reports. And let me explain what I mean by that. In Southampton A, they changed GL carriers. That was before I came. And of course, the carrier did a complete inspection. And Mac Parker had an engineer come in and inspect the electrical rooms and gave glowing reports about how safe they were and this and that. And the insurance company doesn't care. They don't use bus fuses anymore. So we lost our coverage until we provided proof that we have a contract in place with a down payment of electrical rooms being updated. So me thinking like a insurance company, they know from their experience in dealing with hurricanes. And I'm still on Long Island. That's why I'm in Zoom. And we had this storm Sandy here on Long Island. Those homes that had older roofs, for some reason, had more claims than newer roofs. So to an insurance company thinking they're gonna look at the age of the roof. Now, does Phil Massey make a determination as to an inspection report? No, he has to go hat in hand to the underwriter and explain it. The insurance company controls the show. Sorry, it's a different world. What I see happening is something that I saw little by little changing. They're not interested in taking on buildings that are potential claims. They're looking for newer roofs, period. That's my humble opinion. Sorry.
Listen to the lady.
Susan, wait a minute,
She's
Susan.
telling the truth.
Susan, did you get the attachments that went with the email?
I did.
If you go to, I think it's page number 6, can you go to page number 6 in the attachments?
6. Okay, notification of claims?
No,
do I
it says
No,
roof covering, babe.
roof covering age. This is a statement.
Oh, yeah,
that
roof covering age. I see it right here. Yeah.
This came from Assured Partners as part of their webinar, and I included it in the packet so everybody had the same information in black and white.
Yeah.
And it deals with the roof age and the amount of claims that went with that. So you're correct. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, and insurance companies are just nervous. They're not the Department of Social Services. They're in business to make a profit. And what I see happening with the weather patterns, okay, we have to simply brace ourselves and figure it out. So the age of the roof is a big thing in the mind of an underwriter. They're not going to lose their job because they took a risk and they knew they shouldn't take that risk because the roof was old. Even if the electrical rooms and you were at my building, and thank you for taking all those pictures. It meant nothing. They simply want to know that everything is up to code so that they're not going to have to pay claims. That's it.
Okay. Maybe we could move on because we'll talk about the age of the roof in the attachments. Richard?
Is it possible to coordinate whoever does the inspection with whatever insurance agency we pick? I realize, as what Susan said, that the underwriters aren't gonna accept a report from Joe Unknown, engineer or not.
Licensed insurance, licensed roofing contractor.
Yeah, but they wanna. If we could coordinate with whomever we pick, say.
Yeah, that's a
it's
very good point.
in-
We could ask the,
insurance- it's-
yeah.
Insurance agent ABC has said that reports from this engineering firm will be accepted by this underwriter. If your roof is more than 4 or 5 years old, get this and you might save money. Get this guy to inspect your roof and you might save money.
Florida is doing that with these inspections for condominium buildings, so that's probably coming down the pike.
Okay.
exactly right. Good point.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's move on to the next item was the new prospects for 2025, assuming that Assured Partners is acceptable for this year
Mhm.
in the harsh environment. We've been looking into Keith Carroll. He's a producer for Essentia, which is a major company. And for next year, Tony, maybe you can talk about that. Next year, perhaps Essentia Group should be strongly considered and interviewed because this year is going to be a disaster no matter what happens. And so next year, we should be perhaps looking at possibility. Tony?
Yeah, that's it. I've actually talked to a couple of agents in the last couple of days, in the last couple of months. Keith Carroll was one of them. I had an occasion to meet him, or I had an occasion to have my wrist twisted a little bit by one of your motley crew over there, who says to me that Mr. Carroll will not entertain us, or showing him the books of Southampton B, unless Mr. Carroll has an opportunity to quote on the account. Well, I call that moxie. Okay, I call that taking an advantage from one to the other. I liked what he had to say. I thought he was a very interesting person. We did not find out until the last time we spoke with him that he's a mentor of a new group called Essentia, which of course we've seen with Legacy. Okay, so I'm the same way as Assured Partners is all part of a new group. Okay, then Essentia is also the same type of a management group. It's just somebody to talk to. I thought he was very intelligent. If he can handle those people in Southampton B, he can probably handle us. So, David, would you like to say who the unit owner in Southampton B is?
This is televised, let's not get into.
Yeah, let's not say names.
It's not,
No, I'm just saying.
But this Carroll's agency is actually is insuring Southampton B correctly?
They have been.
They
Yeah.
have been. And do you know if Southampton B is acceptable or happy with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that makes them a possibility to interview for next year to get going into the new events.
Only thing I can say about it is that it is a better policy. But then again, the people that are running the board ask for this and this and this to be put into it. So that's that.
They had a bigger package than the UCO insurance policy?
Yes.
Actually, they had a very good package. I reviewed it before for last year. They had an excellent program. And there was nothing, I couldn't find any errors in their program.
Okay, so then.
Not that I'm
that's-
looking for errors, but I'm looking,
you're
my
looking for the better
question
deal.
is, I consider the size of the association and are they properly covered for all their possible loss exposures. And I thought it was a good program.
Okay, so,
Okay, so that's that. Basically, you know, and I had an opportunity to talk with him. I, you know, just talk, you know, well, what he thought, how he thought, what his feelings were about things. I kind of liked it. So, you know, it's a possibility for next year. I was not going to put him into the sewer. That's going to be 2024. I cannot begin to tell you. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. And to bring anybody in to do that, to go through that, it's not right. You're not, it's like giving them the worst thing in the world to do. So, no, that's really why, for 2024, I'm not gonna do that. I just
Yeah.
can't. I just.
Okay.
Tony is right about that. I feel underwriters are sharpening their pencils because there's increased cost of building material, labor, the valuation of buildings. This is going to be a little bit of a rough year. Just, you know, instinct. I think you're absolutely right, Tony.
Why put somebody who's really decent and can't show maybe that well, you know,
Yeah.
so that's why we're doing it. It's probably the first year you're ever gonna catch me. So I love, I like to go out to talk to people. I like to hear what other people have to say. But I don't want to put anybody through this,
Yeah.
and then work the buns off and then lose the account. No. That's
okay,
not
let's move to number 6 on the agenda.
number 6. Oh,
Outdated
God.
mitigation. Now, the minutes last month, we talked about old roofs and whatever. So this year, in August, we went through all the mitigation reports. We found 96 associations with roofs that were older than 2007. We found 24 associations with mitigation reports that were outdated. Some of them were in 2010. And the mitigation report is only good for 5 years, so anything lower than 217. Now, we went ahead and notified each one of the associations on your attachment has a little page here. And it lists all of the associations with a column for the mitigation. Yeah, that one. If you look at Andover A, the mitigation, and the roof was 2007. We notified an email to each one of those. We ended up only getting about 23 or 24 replies, but we found that 20 of the associations had either replaced the roof or were in the process of doing it before the end of the year. And the thing is, some of the associations reported directly to the insurance company, but they didn't go through the UCO insurance office. So somehow that's a communication issue.
Yeah, how can you stop that?
Kelly?
Well, so I did that, and I did it because that's what I thought I was supposed to and told to do at the last insurance meeting, but I could be wrong. So I think it's just a communication thing. So you don't have like all the Northamptons on here. I was just talking to the president of C a few days ago. He's not on here. Ours not on here. I was talking to that president.
Wait a minute, Northampton where?
And page
Northampton A. These are only the ones that have an old roof or an old mitigation report.
Yeah. These are the bad guys.
Actually, this is updated. If you look at Northampton A, they got a new mitigation report in 2023 and a roof in 20, but they didn't do it until we notified them and went after them. If you look at the other ones,
Well, that was me.
I know, that's why I'm not trying to, I'm just saying we've tried extra hard to notify any of the associations that have an old roof or an old mitigation
So
report.
how do you notify them if they don't have email? Because I know many of the presidents.
We found, no, if you look at page number 5 on the attachment, this thing. We sent a brief email to every one of the associations using the UCO database for the president. And we just notified, we said, here's your mitigation report. Your roof replacement date is such and such. And we left it up to them.
Ruth Grossmom.
So that covers number, and then the last page on there is number 6, and that's that statement from Assured Partners about roof covering age. And if anyone had a question, we didn't give them any details. We sent them exactly what Assured Partners sent us. And we told them they could contact Assured Partners if they had further questions.
Thank you.
And like I said, we found 20 of the, as of Monday, as of yesterday morning, we have a total of 20 of the associations with an old roof that have either a signed contract, replaced the roof, or have financing in place to do it by the end of the year. And they're told to have the mitigation report submitted to Assured Partners by the 31st of December in order to get credit for a new roof for this year.
So maybe that's what I heard last year, because I came out in December of last year, so that might be why I sent my mitigation report to them. Do they need to send it to you and them, or just?
Well, Tony runs the insurance program at Central Village,
Right.
but Tony is the head of Macho. So it does no good to send it directly to an insurance company if you don't send it to Tony.
Okay.
Most people, again, associations get a new president or somebody that's not aware, and that's how, so using the TV, using the UCO reporter and the delegates assembly on a regular basis is probably a very smart idea.
And the blog,
And the blog page, yes.
the blog gets to everything.
Okay, good. So that's number 6. And we also, on that attachment and on that agenda item, we included the video that Assured Partners had about premiums for the next year, if anybody needs to
It
review
runs
it.
at 11 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, on channel 592. Or sorry, no,
591 or something?
yeah, one of them.
Okay, so we've covered number 6, the outdated mitigation reports and roof replacements. The last item for the agenda today is a notification of potential claims.
Mike, could you excuse me for just 1 second?
Yeah,
In the course of that, a piece of information came up. You were talking about Norwich and Norwich K.
right, that's the
Look
one on
at
the red
that one.
sheet. No, it's not on the agenda sheet, this went out before.
I know, that's why I'm bringing it in now. So it's a thought. I don't want to put it at the end. Because it's a good place now. I
So
just
it'll
got
come in
a,
now for the minutes.
got a notice that Norwich D anticipates, Norwich K anticipates that they will be taken out of the bad boys list, okay? They've had the flag, and they expect to lose the flag within 2 months.
That's
Before
that's the permit red flag that was
Yeah.
installed.
Yeah, so they had a whole bunch of things. I got a call from the president there. She was so excited. She's looking forward to finally being out of that group. But tell me about their mitigation report is 218.
Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Is this Norwich A?
No, Norwich K is not on.
K.
it's-
K is in
218.
Candy.
And they have a roof from 2003.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it may be something that, I just hate to ask her, but it's gonna cost her some money.
Well, they already got a notice about the roof age.
Mhm.
Okay, all
Now,
right,
the one thing that hasn't been brought up, anybody that's been on the committee for a couple of years, around 2017 and 18, we were using Brown and Brown, I believe. And we tried to bring up the issue about maintenance, repairs, and new roofs. And Brown and Brown kept telling us that, listen, you're buying your insurance in bulk. It doesn't matter about the individual building. Do you remember that, Tony?
yeah, I do.
Okay, so that particular agency didn't help us with advertising old roofs. They just said, well, you're getting a bulk discount. Don't worry about it.
But can I add something? That was then, this is now. That
this
was
is what we're-
acceptable then.
This is what we're doing now, is we're notifying everyone that has an old roof, and we're sending them the information from the insurance company.
right.
And there's documented proof of sending it to every one of the associations. Okay, so can we go on to the last item is the claims?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
there've been a couple of times.
this is interesting stuff.
But this is the interesting thing is that some people try to circumvent Tony. They go directly to an insurance company. So what we've been trying to do, and maybe we need help on advertising this, the last page of the attachments is a potential claim form that we have. It's page number 10 on your handout. And when people come in, usually it's a board member or sometimes an owner. It says, we have a water leak. We try to record the date, the association, the room, the building, the number and what's going on. And we call it a notification to start. Then I send that to Tony. And then we try to get the board in contact to make sure that it's a significant event, that's something that will exceed the deductible. And if you go back in the attachments to page number 7, this is a database sheet of all the potential notifications that we received in the last few months. We just try to keep it logged in, so if anybody wants to know about it, or if they get to the point of exceeding the deductible, then Tony sends a claim in through Assured Partners to the claims adjuster. So Tony, it's your business. You take over.
Yeah, basically, this is something I guess I don't even remember when we began to do it. The first day up there says March the 9th of 23.
We started
Maybe-
that in the spring.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. This is brand new. They're basically every claim you come in, whether it comes in by telephone, whether it comes in by email, whether it comes in by anything, okay? We take down and write down about what happened about every piece of paper. So if you come to us, let's say in 3 months from now, and you say, gee whiz, Tony, did something happen over Dorchester H? Well, and I can say to you, yeah, we have a Dorchester H. As a matter of fact, Donald has asked me about it, and he said that there was some, let's see, Donald said here that there is, well, no, I can't say what happened, but there's some complaints, okay? This is because we don't yammy about what we read, what we do, okay? We just do the job. But basically, we follow this from the beginning, okay? When somebody calls up or somebody emails or just does something and tells us what happened until we have a successful, satisfactory answer to what happened. It either may be a claim, okay? If it meets the deductible, okay, and it works out as being a claim, or it might just be a notification, but we make sure whether it was a notification that was,
If you go, Tony, if you go to page 8 of the handout of the attachment.
that's, hold on, yes, page 8. Okay,
There's
Or
number
if
2,
we-
it says number 2, filed or deleted.
that's
We have
right.
we have a notification if it doesn't mean the deductible, or if the association decides not to go any further, it goes to this group and is listed in this database.
Yep.
You
And
see a
we
lot
have-
of, you see a lot of them that say not filed, a couple that say filed. There's a couple that say closed. And or not filed. That's how we
Yeah.
handle it.
There's no piece of work here that you don't come to us, and even if Donald has some stuff from from here, from UCO, no matter what happens, we write something about it. We take
If
care of
you
it
don't,
and we follow it. Yes.
Tony, go to, on page 8, if you go to the second group, it says notification of issues. It's in red, it's sort of at the top of the page. And that's most of the times when Donald Foster reports about
Yeah.
a building or an association or a maintenance issue, we put it as notification of issues rather than a potential claim at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be something like
The
let's say
stairway.
yeah, a stairway that all of a sudden got notified by the permit department. I make lists of that. Then I have to follow that. I have to follow that staircase as it gets fixed. I have to make sure that everything is taken care of, because these people only have a certain amount of time. especially with something like that doesn't meet the permit thing. That has to be done in a certain time. I have to follow that. That's what I do. You know, we follow just about every claim we possibly can. Just to make sure that everything's okay, offering whatever services we can to get things done as quickly and as, without problems as possible. But it's a great system. I don't know. We have, people here don't realize is that the deductible has gone up to $10,000. And we try not to, we never let the paper get to the carrier, okay? Because if it gets to the carrier, you're making a claim. And then it costs you money. Even if it ends up that it's not, you're paying it's under the deductible. That'll still cost you money because it's, remember how we were last year, we were talking about the dings, they become dings. So we want to make sure you don't even have any dings, that they never know you ever had a problem. Because the problem's already taken care of before it's documented, okay, or be sent to the carrier. That's what we do that for.
You have a very good system in place for that because they don't want to know about claims. If you can handle it yourself,
That's
a small
exactly what we
claim,
try to do.
do it.
Yep. So are there any other thoughts about it?
Richard has a question.
No,
Go
a
ahead.
couple on this page 10, much of what Mike and Tony have said, the information could be put at the bottom of this.
We do. It's written in at the bottom of
We
the
write
page.
in the bottom.
We write in the association, the unit number, what happened, and then we try to get.
What happened?
We try to either get invoices, photographs, or an email from the association saying exactly what happened.
Well, do they know that if they don't meet if it's underneath the deductible, that they are the first line of payment or defense?
You have to be careful how you say that. I do not have a 220 license. Tony talks to the association.
Oh, okay, as long as they know.
I do not want to say anything outside of my realm. Tony is the licensed insurance agent for Century Village. She's the one that dictates and mitigates what happens.
Can we say that the agency will not handle that information that comes directly from an association?
Well, Tony has talked directly with the claims agent at Assured Partners. And I think they've worked out a schedule where they will not accept something unless it comes from Tony.
Tony, good, yeah. And this page, I drew a couple of arrows here, you might want to look. What happened to notification? How was it handled? I drew an arrow like the Camden G. It looks like the same one was actually handled.
Hold on.
I think, it's just.
I can go over that with you.
Okay,
Hold on. It may be a different issue because there were,
well, it said that if you look at the Camden G, the under 1A, Camden G, unsafe condition rear staircase, and then you go down to filed and deleted, you go down to.
no, okay, those are two separate events.
Issues.
Two
Oh,
separate
yeah,
events.
she had 2 claims on the same day.
Cut in on
This
broken
was-
staircase, rear staircase, those are separate. eh?
Yes, they were separate because one would be a GL and one would be a permit issue and repairs.
Right, I'm just, this was handled, Donald's notification about the staircase was later handled. It was
Yes.
handled,
Yes,
that's what I'm looking for.
but this fellow went down that staircase
Yeah.
and fell or cut himself. So that's a separate event.
Oh, I know that, I just wondered.
Yes, and we found out that he was not going to.
So,
Yeah, he didn't make a claim.
yeah,
He
okay,
never made a claim.
all right. So was,
Okay.
yeah, all right.
Is that it? How are we doing, guys, for time?
We've got 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Use it.
Can we go back to discuss about the option sheets, which we never concluded?
Okay,
I raised my hand, but then.
well,
it
okay,
took over.
what we need to talk about?
Well, we talked about what we can do. How about getting them on time? In the past, we always got them the week of Thanksgiving. So over the last 2 years, it keeps going later and later and later. Now we're into the first week of December. How about getting the carrier or the agent to get them to us before the end of November, so we have time. We have always given these out in the past before this company came in, the first week of December.
Is that true, Tony? Is that correct? Was Brown and Brown giving option sheets out in Thanksgiving?
No, no, they gave out the first week of December.
That's what I just said.
Wait, no, but no.
That's exactly what I said, Tony. Mike
No,
spoke
they were
the
giving
wrong
out.
thing.
Okay, no. What happened is that, Thanksgiving was the date that we would have a show and tell. Okay, we got our figures on Thanksgiving, or actually before Thanksgiving, we got the figures. Okay, no. They were not they were not broken down by individual agent, okay? That was always the first week in December.
But I said,
swear to God.
Tony,
Okay, well, whatever you said, and you're right
what
again.
I
as
said is
usual.
we always got the paperwork by Thanksgiving, and the
Yes.
option sheets were available by the first week in December.
That's true.
Since this company came in, we push it December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Now
Okay.
we're up to the 7th, which cuts back on the time that we have to
No,
notify.
no. You
Okay.
always had the first week of December to, right before Christmas time to hand it in. That's not the problem. Our biggest problem is most of the people don't even have any idea when it's
Right,
coming, when
exactly.
they're coming out.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
I have to go back to
The earlier
school.
the better, that's all.
I have to go back to
Okay,
school
but
and
let me
learn English.
explain, will somebody let me
The earlier the
their
better.
biggest problem, according to Assured Partners, is that the companies that they're working with, American Coastal, all the rest of them, don't want to give them any figures before December. It's as simple as that. They don't. They're playing everything by the skin of their toes. Everything. Do you know that some of the figures that they put on the option sheet, so you can get your option sheet the first week of December, those figures are they're not,
Bullshit.
Perspective.
they're,
They're
Estimate.
guesstimates.
are
Estimate,
estimates.
perspective.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Some of them are like the umbrellas, and some of the other coverages are estimates. And how do we know? Because one year Mike got a sheet of paper, and every time he would talk to John Smith, he would say, John, your new premium is, and he would have to tell him what his new premium is, because Mike got the sheets, okay? And so he could tell you, your premium isn't going to be this amount, it's going to be this amount. Thank God it was less. Thank God it was less amount of money. But what they're doing now is they're forced to realize that these insurance carriers are not going to give them a definite figure until probably sometime in January. So they give you an estimate that's a little blown up, but better blown up than it's underneath it, and you have to come back and ask John here for an extra $250. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. This is one of the madnesses that's been going on for the last few years, and I cannot, in good conscience, let anybody have to put up with this, because it's going to be an uglier and uglier time. Wait until we see what happens, what Assured Partners has in store for us now. He talks a good game, but we're stuck with him and whatever carriers are going to do, and it's going to be fun. I'm telling you, all we can do is we can do what we do the right way. Asking for go ahead.
What happened to the 45 days notice before the policy is due?
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well,
But
it's
I
done the way.
thought that was an insurance statute that the state said that
There's
before
no
you
insurance, there's no statute. It can't, these insurance carriers will not give you those figures. And they just won't, they can't, because they're, okay, well, you do, I'm not gonna, please, Fausto, you're bigger than I am. I have no intention of fighting with you about anything like that.
Tony, what you're saying is if our policy is due January 1st, what would happen if they don't give it to us and the policy, whatever the figures are, till December 31st? What stops them from taking the whole month of December? From saying, we're not giving you your numbers until the 31st of December and your policy starts tomorrow?
Nothing. Nothing. There's really nothing they can do. And frankly, there's nothing anybody can do. I'll tell you what. Right now, I'll call up, or next week, I'll call up, Phil Massey and say to him,
Oh, I don't want to talk to Phil. There has to be some kind of governance over where an insurance company has to be governed, that they can't just give you the rate 24 hours before it's due to expire.
the only rate I've heard is that if they want to cancel you or jack up your premium, they
Yes.
have to give you 90 days notice.
Right,
That's the only one I know of.
okay.
We can screw you, but no. You must abide by our rules. We can do anything we want. Welcome to insurance in Florida.
And Tony, I think
Go ahead.
Fausto is right in personal lines where there is a 45-day issuance of renewal. In commercial, I don't know. All I remember about this commercial is that if we're going to raise your rate, we're going to give you a notice. Okay, it's going to go up more than 10%. That's all you're going to get. That's all
You'll be happy to know that we ask Mike. He can tell you we've already starting to receive our 90-day. It's so bad. It's so bad that Phil Massey sends us a little notice with them. Don't pay any attention to this. This is just just the way it is. We've got
Those are the
notices.
cancellation of policy. We get a
Cancellation.
cancellation.
Yeah, they're going to cancel our policies, or they're going to. The next ones we'll get will be that they're going to be renewing our premiums at a increase. Your premiums may be going up, or your premiums are changing, and you have 90 days. You don't understand. It's just insane.
The guy with
Absolutely
the gold
insane.
makes the rules.
Huh?
Right.
Said the guy with the gold makes the rules.
Yeah,
That's about
exactly.
it. That's
Yeah.
about it. It's pretty bad. We're hoping in 2025 things will change, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was not happy to see that first hurricane this year. I don't care how much it saved us.
I hope it's the last one.
Well, we usually today is the what's today? Today's the 19th.
19th.
Well, at least we're past the 10th. I'll never forget Irma. Irma was my first one. Whoa.
Hurricane Zena is coming.
Zena?
Zena.
Okay.
Okay, it's past 2:00.
I make
So
a
that's
motion to
okay.
adjourn.
Does anybody else is there anything they'd like to discuss? I appreciate that you're getting involved and paying attention and thinking about this stuff. Any of your thoughts are certainly appreciated. Nobody does this by ourselves. Trust me.
Yeah. You did a
Thank
good
you.
job, Tony. And I just want to add one thing, that we're used to a different system. Everything has changed upside down, and it's not easy for any of us to understand all of this. But the
I know.
main thing is the insurance company controls the show. We want their insurance. We have to do what they want. And it's very different.
Another thing you should understand is that if that you're not crazy about the commercial lines, let me tell you stories. I've heard 2 stories, exact same, that last year's premium was $700-800. This year premium is over $2,000.
Yeah.
And do we give a shit? No, we don't give a shit. That's how bad it is. If you can get it, and I got told, since I sold my car, and now understand, I had a policy that had the car and the homeowners together. Guess what they told me? You shouldn't cancel your policy. I went, but I don't have a car anymore. You know what she says to me? Well, you're gonna have a hard time buying insurance for your car.
Your
I mean,
house.
why? Because I friggin' sold my car? It's insane out there, folks, insane. Any other thoughts or whatever? You know, I'll be glad to, and Fausto, if you have any ways for me that, you know, I can give you those answers or get those answers for you, I'll be more than
I've
glad.
been sitting in here for 10 years, and I remember sitting in here July and August and getting actual
yeah.
premiums. 6
That's
months
right.
before the policy is due.
That's
Then
exactly it.
4 or 5 years ago, we went to this rule 45 days before the policy is due, and now you're telling me that that rule is gone too.
Yep.
So something has to be done, something needs to be said, because the day is gonna come.
But
December
no, Fausto,
31st, your policy dies, and the 1st it starts, and this is what the premium is.
but
You gotta
Fausto,
do
you have,
something.
here's the understand, Fausto, you're missing the point. Here's the worst part of it is that you can't fight about your premiums anymore. You don't have any words, you don't have any, no part of the decision about how much you're gonna pay is made by you,
I
okay?
understand that.
Somebody else makes that choice for you. Am I right?
Yep.
You're right, but you're missing my point.
I'm not missing your point. What's the difference? It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't matter whether you find out what the premium is in July the 30th or August or the first week in December. It doesn't matter because they're going to make the decision as to what your premium is. You don't have nothing to do with it.
And Tony, it's not like we can shop around because all the carriers are
Yeah,
excessive now.
they're all. Oh,
We can't
God.
shop around.
The only
It's
time,
awful out
the
there.
only time that they had advantage was when Jason brought in what's called a layered program, where they went from American Coastal to, I believe, 2 or 3 other carriers and did a layered program where they sold this and that, and then it went back to American Coastal, and American Coastal seemed to be a bit easier playing ball, but now the market seems to be,
No, umbrella situation.
Yeah.
now it's gone the other way.
It's a moot point. You guys are missing the point. You're missing the point.
You know, you just want to be advised early enough, so
There has to be some kind of regulation. There has to be. Somebody has to stand up, whether it's us or whatever, and tell the insurance company, if I gotta have insurance, you gotta give me X number of days before you renew my policy. I need to know what it is. They're in charge because nobody's fighting it. Gotta fight it.
Well, no. You got to understand what's happening. It's happening, but it's not happening in the commercial market. It's happening in the private in the personal market, where these companies are literally telling you 90 days ahead of time they're going to take you from $700 to $2,000. And that gives you enough time to get in and out of the emergency ward,
You're just
okay, and
proving
have
my
some
point.
recuperation. Huh?
You're just proving my point. As a private, if it's not a commercial
There's
property,
but there doesn't, it's the state doesn't do it. Nobody can do it.
okay,
So
Now, right
Fausto,
now, the insurance
Yes.
companies are making the rules, and their
there's
feeling
gotta be a
is,
statute. There's gotta be something in here.
Find it.
Hold on.
Find it.
Statute 627, section 4133 of the 2023 Florida statutes, at least 45 days notice for policy renewals.
Florida statute, give that to Mr. Massey. Tell him to read it.
For which policies?
Is that personal or commercial?
It's
Or both.
statute 6718. That's corporate. That's commercial.
Okay. but it doesn't, you don't, okay. All they're saying is, no. All the statute is saying is that they're gonna renew your policy. They're
No,
not gonna
that's not
tell
what
you
he
what they're
said.
gonna renew it at what price.
We're not talking price. We're talking that they have, according to what Kelly just read, 617 says they have to give you a quote 45 days before the policy is renewed. Under statute 6718.
Oh, no, I don't think they have to give you a quote.
So it
That's
doesn't
the part I
specify
don't-
commercial or not, but it says for policies providing coverage for workers' comp, employer's liability insurance, property, casualty,
Okay.
except mortgage,
Well,
guarantee, surety, and marine insurance.
tell Mr. Massey to read 6718 and will help us out. Go
What we
fight.
want is the bad news sooner than later.
That's it.
Okay,
Thank you, Kelly.
All right.
I know that it was something in there.
could you print that out and email it to us? The full document so we can make sure we understand it
Yeah,
all?
I'd like to. What is that again? 617 what?
So
We
it's
lost.
the 2023 Florida statutes, Title 37 Insurance, Chapter 627 Insurance Rates and Contracts, Section 4133 Notice of Cancellation, Non-Renewal or Renewal Premiums.
627.
Gotta be something in there.
Okay, well, we can get the entire document. to read. Okay, can we close?
Yeah,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
I heard it.
Thank you
Okay.
all. Thank you all for
Thank
everything.
you, thank you,
Okay,
Tony. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.